New Jersey chime time is 7:10. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea with you till 10 o'clock this morning. Talking Jersey, taking your calls, 1-800-283-101.5. And I'm joined by my friend Steve Adubato. Steve, good morning and welcome back to New Jersey 101.5. How are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. Great to be speaking with you.
Yes.
Looking at the weather like everybody else.
I was going to say, is it snowing there?
It's snowing, but not sticking, and I got 3 kids who are anxiously awaiting the call on school, and I told them, that's not, the right attitude to be hoping that school doesn't happen, but I'd be doing the exact same thing if I were them.
Of course. My disappointment for my son is that it's not snowing yet in Mercer County, so they're going to, the whole snow event is going to happen while they're in school. There'll be no delayed opening. There'll be no early dismissal. That's it. Hey, at least it's Friday.
Yes, it's Friday.
So tell me what you got going on. You got a new show.
Yes, a new PBS public television series.
Awesome.
It's called State of Affairs, and it kicks off this weekend, and it's exciting. When you're in the business for a few years, let's just say.
We're not going to age anybody today, but you've been doing this a long time for sure. But let me ask you, Steve, so you sat down with Phil Murphy, former ambassador to Germany, a very wealthy man running for governor. Many are already writing the race off, saying, hey, this is the guy that's got the $10 million or more to spend on the race, and he is likely to be the next governor. How was he when you sat down with him?
Phil Murphy's interesting. He's engaging. He's personable. He's charming. But, my job is to not just ask him what it'd be like at a cocktail party. My job is to challenge him in a respectful way on how he would deal with this pension crisis in the state, how he would deal with property taxes, school funding, whether he would, in fact, raise taxes on the wealthiest people in the state, which is, a big part of how you come up with the new revenue to fund the pension crisis. My job is to deal with asking him and every other candidate, and we are going to have every major candidate running for governor on State of Affairs. We actually interviewed several of them. The question is, how would you deal with the Trump administration and the Republican Congress really repealing and replacing the Affordable Care Act and many New Jerseyans potentially not having health insurance? What would you do about that? And instead of just saying Trump is bad, that's not a policy position. That's not a solution. What would you do with that? What's the state of affairs as it relates to health care? That's the name of the show, but it's also what is the state of affairs of people in this state who are struggling and suffering in so many ways.
Did you get into it all, the epidemic of opioid addiction, the heroin crisis we had? Did that come up at all?
It's so interesting. Governor Christie has led the way in this area, and whatever people want to criticize the governor for what they think he's done or not done, he has.
I've been known to have an opinion on that.
Bill, I've heard that, and I've heard the governor also tell me and many others about his views on you. But I'll tell you one thing you can't criticize the governor for. He's led the way on this and set the tone and the agenda on this. And every other candidate who runs for public office better be talking about this in a serious way. And I don't mean some empty rhetoric about we should be concerned about those who have problems with opioids or addiction. I mean have government policies that make sense, that don't bust the budget, that are serious and deal with addiction instead of just putting people in jail who have a problem and are not criminals just because they got addicted to painkillers. And again, I talked to them a little bit about that. But when you have 12 minutes with each one of these candidates, you prioritize the issues. We'll have them again.
12 minutes, Steve. 12 minutes seems like a lifetime to me.
Well, to you, because you got 18, you got weather, you got traffic, you got so many, you got callers. I don't have to deal with all those issues on public television. But 12 minutes does go by quickly.
Let me ask you, why the new show? Did you feel there was you needed a different avenue? I mean, you've done a lot of successful things in television, and you've got your one-on-one show and others. So why the new show? Why the need?
Well, you don't really want to know the inside business baseball of PBS, but I'll tell you this: for many years, you came on a show I did with a colleague of mine, Raphael P. Roman. We did what's called Capital Affair.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Capital Report. And very simply, Capital Report had a 23-year run. This great colleague of mine, a lot of people in broadcasting, they act like they like each other, but they hate each other behind the scenes.
Isn't that amazing? I know. People would be shocked if they knew some of the relationships behind the scenes.
Raph and I were real brothers on the air, and after 23 years, he had a responsibility in New York for a show called, and you do a daily show, he does a daily show called Metro Focus, and it put so much pressure on him that public television basically said he had to be doing that show every day. Steve, can you carry a public affairs show by yourself and use other contributors as co-anchors on a regular basis? And that's where State of Affairs comes from. It's going to be airing on WNET in New York, NJTV, WHYY in the southern part of the state, FiOS, as well as on some radio stations, and the bottom line, and digital, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where State of Affairs comes from. It's got a different energy, a different vibe. I'll be missing my partner, Raphael P. Ramon, but using a lot of different contributors.
Raphael's a good guy. Tell him I say hello when you talk to him. Real quick, Steve, I'm out of time, but I do want to ask you, will Joe Piscopo come on your show?
I love Joe Piscopo.
Yeah, he's
and
great.
I also know that you guys are out there doing some great, comedy work together. Piscopo's got to make a decision. And if Joe Piscopo decides that he's in this race, we will probably be one of the first programs to have him on to press Joe, my good friend, on the issues. And I look forward to hearing Joe because I think he's got a compelling candidacy. He's an outsider. He supported Trump, but he'll go beyond that to talk about himself, not Donald Trump. It's going to be fascinating. All
right, man. Hey, Steve, congratulations on the new show. All the best. And so the first time I can see it is on NJTV tomorrow at 6, right? Comes on Saturday morning. That's the first
morning,
run.
Also WNET at 8:30 in the morning, HYY down the southern part of the state, FiOS as well. Most importantly, best to the New Jersey 101.5 audience, which is smart, engaging, and challenging. I'm kissing up to them because I want them to watch my show.
Hey, man, look, that's the business. That's what we got to do.
And promise me you'll come back. You'll come on.
I will.
On State of Affairs yourself.
Send me a note. Talk to Chris. Let's do it. Let's just plan a time, and I'll be there.
My people will talk to your people.
Yeah, let's get the people together, all right? All right, Steve.
Thanks,
hey, man, good talking to you. Stay safe in the snow. Enjoy the weekend, and congrats on the show.